You're listening to your brain on air. The program will begin shortly. Enjoy. Slušate svoj mozak u eteru. Program će uskoro početi. Uživajte.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Your Brain on Air. I am your host, Ollie Volt Larson, and George Floyd died with 11 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl in his blood, when overdoses are certified to happen around 3 nanograms with no bruising around the neck. If you don't believe me, believe the Hennepin County Medical Examiner and its officially published autopsy. Happy Black History Month, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We are starting February with some real Black history, the kind that makes people's heads fall off when you just say the facts, man. It's the best kind, isn't it? I am so happy to have you all back on the show. This is great. We got a new vast collection of stories for you. Honestly, shit's been shaken up ever since the Grammys, quite frankly. I haven't been able to keep up with as much of the political shit because the side news, and by side news, I do mean like a news host, anchor, whatever Savannah Guthrie is, her mother getting kidnapped or something like that. I don't know. Apparently there's evidence that she didn't leave her house on her own and she's being treated as a missing person right now. Damn it, that was one of our later stories, but what am I so worried about? You guys could skip ahead and listen to it right now if you wanted to anyway. So, shit went down at the Grammys, in case you didn't know. We have NBC LA, their news correspondent at the Grammys, to fill us in a little bit. Apparently people, as per the usual with these sorts of get-togethers, went ahead and used their wholly endowed platform to educate us mongrels and normal people around middle America, what the morals are of this year, of 2026, what is in, what is fashionable, what the new politics to have in your Instagram bio should be this year. All right, let's take a look, see what we got.
Oh, they sure did, Jonathan and Kathy. Good evening to you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, we do want to point out that normally we are inside or outside of the governor's ball. There is no governor's ball this year, so it's a little quieter as parties now spread out throughout Los Angeles. But there was a party inside tonight, and this, you have to remember, is the Grammy Awards, everyone. The Grammy Awards are different than most other awards in that they love to seize on the moment that is present. So, for instance, last year, we had the Palisades and the Eaton fires. It was the Grammys that turned their telecast, that ceremony, into a telethon, if you will, trying to raise money and awareness for the victims of the Palisades
I remember that.
Eaton fires. So we go into...
So they're raising money, apparently, now. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm making up what's the cause this year? They're raising money for the Ukrainians? We got to make people care about them again.
This evening, wondering who would be the big winners. Sure. Would Kendrick
Minneapolis
Lamar from Los Angeles, would Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas from Los Angeles make the hometown proud once again? Or would the Grammys once again reflect on recent events and make a statement, as they did last year, and they've done in years past, and as you're about to see, this year's Grammys seized the moment.
In other words, they made everybody real uncomfy. Let's do it.
Before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say eyes out.
1 week until he headlines the Super Bowl halftime show on NBC, Grammy winner Bad Bunny.
We're not savage, we're not animals, we're
not
aliens, we are humans.
We are humans.
I guess I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I wouldn't be here.
Same, homie. I love grasping for straws for intersectionality. Like, what group can I belong to? It's not enough that I present black lady. It's that I am the daughter of immigrants. It's like, yeah, man, use whatever you can to make yourself as victim-y as possible. I use it.
I'm a product of bravery, and I think those
I'm a
people
product
deserve
of
to be
immigrants.
celebrated.
A message delivered not just on stage.
Don't neglect the legality of all of them. I am the product of immigrants, and we need to treat them all the same.
Gloria Estefan, another Grammy winner, the first to come backstage
Yay.
tonight.
As for the state of our country, I've been very vocal about it. I'm scared. I'm very worried.
You're nervous.
Everyone wants a safe border. I don't think anyone would say we want a free-for-all at the border. But what is happening is not at all criminals being arrested. These are people that have families that have contributed to this country for decades. Little children. There's
Little
hundreds
chitlins.
of children in detention centers. It's inhumane. I don't recognize my country at this moment right now.
Obama also did
On the
kids in
red carpet,
cages.
Performers wearing pins and taking
Oh,
a
yes.
stand against
Everybody, the ice out pins were out. They were, you know those little ones? They just have the 6 letters, ice and out, and they put it on their lapel, and they look nice and handsome. Admittedly, it is so much easier than actually formulating opinions or thinking, you know what I mean? Oh my god, you're going to hear a brainless take from Billie Eilish here in a minute, because quite frankly, she is one of the dumber of our generation. I do not see her as an oracle of, she's talented. She's not an oracle of truth, though. She's definitely not well-informed on any conflict that she bothers to comment on. I'm sorry, you are very talented, and a lot of these people are. I'm not going to deny that any of these people are 10 billion times more talented than me. They obviously are. That's why they're at the Grammys, and that's why I'm sitting at home judging them. You know what I mean? They have talent, and a lot of people around them don't. That's just a fact. All I'm saying is that talent does not equal knowing things, and more often than not, it actually allows you to avail yourself of the main responsibility to know things.
immigration and customs enforcement, and in solidarity with Minnesota protesters. Song of the Year winners Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell then delivering words stronger than what's on their lapels.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
My favorite. Billy does not understand the concept of conquered land. I'm sorry. Stolen, it's won in the heat of battle, and it seems like nobody can get over it at this point. Everybody, no, I'm sorry, the Native Americans are not native to anything. They are Asians who migrated over here after they chased their food. They are here because of circumstance, the same reason the white man is. I'm sorry. You can't deny it, and the fact is, their culture just didn't advance quick enough to compete. They didn't develop the methods and the mechanics of warfare that would have allowed them to meaningfully push back on the people that invaded. It was unfortunate, but it's how human history has worked for the majority of it until we recently decided to get civilized. I'm sorry, it's just kind of factual and accurate. And unfortunately, this whole thing about stolen land, guess what? You got your little cake slices of it. You got the reservations. I'm sorry, I belong to Native families. They sound like they complain about it too. I understand it's not the best situation, but free healthcare from the tribe isn't that bad. So you know what? Take your pacifiers. We'll be all right. We're gonna be okay.
It's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now, and I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel
I bet you do.
Keep fighting and speaking up and protesting and
What is Billie Eilish doing meaningfully to fight this? Is she out there recording ice? I love her just checked out weirdo Sanpaku eyes. She's my favorite. I love her.
Our voices really do matter, and the people matter.
Bernie! Okay, and then they did some tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, which, very, very fun. I think Sharon was like, it's a real ditty in honor of him, and it's beautiful. Okay, well, I'm actually going to play one of my favorite Billie Eilish moments, because regardless of what you think about the Grammys, Billie Eilish continues to be an oracle of truth. This was about 3 months ago, and I saw a lot of people giving her a lot of plaudits for this, which, honestly, in all honesty, this is performative at best, very silly at worst, because she's here getting an award. Let's not forget this. She calls for billionaires to give away their money to make the world a better place. Let's hear this incredible, worldly, generational take from, can we call her the Yoko Ono of Gen Z? Billie Eilish.
We're in a time right now where the world is really, really bad and really dark, and people need empathy and help more than kind of ever, especially in our country. And I'd say if you have money, it would be great to use it for good things and maybe give it to some people that need it. And
Agreed.
love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Shorties, I got a great question. Why are you a millionaire? She goes, why are you a billionaire? Shut up, bitch. You're new to this whole big money game. You clearly don't have a Roth IRA yet, all right? Shut your trap, lady. You do not understand the cosmic scale of money that people have and the level of greed that it infringes on the human soul, all right? You're new to this whole game. Give it till you're in your 30s. Give it till your first plastic surgery, which I assume you may have had due to the fact that your eyes don't look quite right, the way that they droop below. That's not how you're supposed to look. I'm sorry. It's how it is. It's science. It's not me. Don't get mad at me. It's just how it is. But like, she got a lot of bravery plaudits for that, and I say good for her. I say if a millionaire can get a lot of attention for calling out billionaires, I mean, that says a lot about the low standards that America is beginning to have for the people that are like in the top 1%. It's like, man, one of the top 1%ers called out the other 1%ers. Ha 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 ha. And then they go back to stuffing little Debbies in their mouth, and then they're like, ha ha ha, we're winning.
The most anticipated moments of the night, the all-star tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, who died last July.
Oh, shit.
He spoke with wife Sharon here with her children.
It's a celebration for Ozzy.
My impression of her was so good. It's a celebration for Ozzy.
And it started off early today with Dom winning for Changes, and now we've got this wonderful tribute by Ozzy's friends. And
Ozzy's friends.
When the night is over and the legions of fans are home, what do you want them to take with them and to always remember about Ozzy Osbourne?
How much he loved them all.
He loved them. Hey, Reba McEntire.
Other memorable moments included Reba McEntire performing at the Grammys for the very first time, an in memoriam segment that included her late stepson, Brandon Blackstock.
Oof.
And there
He looked like he had addict
Cher,
eyes.
who almost left the stage before announcing Record of the Year, then going viral for not announcing the award goes to Kendrick Lamar. Instead, the Grammy goes to Luther Vandross! But the 68th Grammy Awards belong to Benito, whose big week began with a big bang.
And the Grammy goes to
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
A standing ovation, the artist overcome as he picked up the final Grammy and making history as the first ever Spanish language album to win Album of the Year.
How mad
Bad
were so
Bunny.
many people? By the way, I won't even be upset by the people that were mad about it, because admittedly the album itself, maybe I'm just not it doesn't track with me, you know what? I don't know. It's just, it wasn't for me. I didn't like any of the other albums, admittedly, that were up for this year, because I didn't listen to most of them.
Addressing the audience in Spanish, then English.
I want to dedicate this award
A war.
to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country, to follow their dreams.
Nice.
So it was an emotional ceremony throughout, but let's talk about some firsts, Jonathan and Kathy. How about the 80s group The Cure? They picked up their first Grammy tonight, 2 actually.
Oh.
How about
They clearly
Jelly
aren't very
Roll?
good if this is their first 2 Grammys. Good for them. I mean, I don't know anything about The Cure, but maybe they're not very good if this is their first couple Grammys they got. Also, Jelly Roll, he picked up his first couple Grammys, I think. I mean, it's after the Ozempic. Let's be real. Hollywood hates fatties. That's just a fact, and it's gonna continue to be a fact. Speaking of facts, there's a lot that we got to cover in regards to this Epstein shit that happened over the weekend. So I think we got to cover it. Oh shit! One more final thing. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. This episode is dedicated to thee. Shit, man, there's growing fallout from the Epstein document treasure trove release. Guys, I'm still bummed out about the Epstein stuff. He and we were going to start an Armenian nightclub in downtown St. Paul back in 2020. And here he goes and ditches me the year before. And the fallout, like, afterward, I've been pissed. I've had managers that have disappeared on me. We had a construction crew that was paid outside of Home Depot. Obviously, they're gone now. There's no chance that they're going to be around when I need them. Listen, we've been waiting for a long time for a lot more documents to be released, and it's come to a fever pitch. The Justice Department had a massive disclosure of over 3 million records, guys. It's because of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and I will say fortunately, guess who wasn't in the Epstein Files, guys? We have to give him credit. Bibi Netanyahu. Admittedly, coaches don't play. Admittedly, organizers do not tend to play the Squid Games. But I will say that, you know who wasn't also in the Epstein Files? Diddy. I think it's fine that we listen to his music now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's address ABC News real quick.
Fallout from the latest release of the Jeffrey Epstein documents. They include communications between the rich and powerful, from the co-owner of an NFL team to billionaires like Elon Musk. And tonight, the newly released photos of Britain's former Prince Andrew. Here's ABC's investigative reporter, Olivia Rubin.
Tonight, the fallout continues as new details emerge from the millions of newly released Justice Department records on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
What sucks is he aura farms in all of these photos, and they're going to be in so many TikTok edits. It's going to be like summer 2026, and it's going to be all the pictures of him just like sitting having a good time with Ghislaine Maxwell. It's going to be beautiful.
Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images.
Including this stunning, never-before-seen prosecution memo and draft indictment written nearly 2 decades ago. Prosecutors in Florida detailing the disturbing evidence they gathered against the financier, calling him a continued danger to the community based upon his continued enticement of underage girls. But that 60-count indictment never filed. Instead, Epstein landing the now infamous deal allowing him to plead guilty to lesser state prostitution charges.
He must have gotten Legally Blonde on that shit. Seriously, he got a great deal. Served 13 months in Florida jail.
Just 13 months in a Florida jail. Upon his release, Epstein free to enjoy a jet-setting lifestyle and access to the rich and famous, until his 2019 arrest. These messages from 2013 show Epstein connecting New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch with various women. In one exchange, Tisch asked about a woman only identified as M, writing, "Curious to know about M, pro or civilian?"
Its subject of the email is Ukrainian girl. I love that once we actually got a peek into these files, when we got a peek into the emails, everybody online and the QAnon and whatnot, they thought it would be pizza. They thought that it would be talking about hot dogs, really incognito lingo talk that would really confuse people and make the document release really, really confounding, but they would have to pore over it like a puzzle. No, this is just Steve Tisch, Tisch, emailing him. Subject Ukrainian girl, and saying, curious about, we'll contact you about, pro or civilian. I think, yeah, this is like finding the receipt for Central Market. Like, nope, you bought the canned peaches. I see him in the back of your car. This guy, I'm sorry, Steve Tisch, this gentleman has quite the Grinchly brow that makes his eyes shadowed in darkness and allows his eye bags to become the Jim Carrey-esque, looking overfilled with like grocery. It's like grocery bags. His bags under his eyes. They're horrific. I'm sorry.
In another, Epstein informed Tisch about a microbiology student in Florida who he said was interested in meeting, advising Tisch to, quote, make it clear that you will organize her ticket. In a statement, Tisch acknowledging a, quote, brief association where we exchanged emails about adult women, but saying, I did not take him up on any of his invitations and never went to his island. As we all know now, he was a terrible person and someone I deeply regret associating.
Chairman, Executive VP of the New York Giants, they're going to have a rough upcoming season.
With known Epstein associates like the former Prince Andrew, who was stripped of his royal titles last year over his relationship with Epstein, back in the spotlight as well, with the release of these photos showing him crouched over a young woman.
Holy shit.
The context of the interaction unclear. Representatives for Andrew have not responded.
He's like, okay, so the first one, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be in the description. It's going to be under the ABC News one that says growing fallout from Epstein document release. You can see the photos for yourself. He is leaning over this young lady, and he is grabbing her stomach in one of these photos. And they, thankfully enough, blurred out her face. But, yeah, his eyes, they shine like the coins. You know how when you see your cat in the dark, and then their eyes glint in the dark, and you're like, oh, you think that was a demon for a second, but then you see their little head blink, and you're like, oh, shit, okay, we're all right.
Responded to a request for comment. Also in the documents, numerous unverified tips and unsubstantiated allegations against powerful figures in politics, finance, and entertainment, including President Trump, claims the Department of Justice says are unfounded and false.
There's this mantra out there that, the Department of Justice is supposed to protect Donald J. Trump, and that's what we were telling. That's not true. That was never the case. We are always concerned about the victims.
But some of Epstein's victims now furious, saying many of their names were left unredacted and exposed in this latest release. Epstein survivor Charlene Rochard tonight telling me she is, quote, completely disappointed with the Justice Department.
I have absolutely no faith in this justice system at this point. The DOJ is not taking care in survivors.
Whoa. Go write a book. Collect the royalty checks. You'll be thanking them in a matter of a few years. Calm it down. Relax yourself.
Well, they're not considering us.
And wait, now
Considering us, well, you look like you set up your Zoom camera pretty decently for someone who was pretty not. Oh, I wasn't expecting to get interviewed by the press. Yeah, sure.
Lawmakers who pushed for the release of the Epstein files are raising questions about the 3 million pages of records the Department of Justice did not release. They're now asking for an in-person briefing to review the full files. With
Olivia Rubin for us tonight. And tune into This Week tomorrow morning. George Stephanopoulos speaks with Deputy Attorney
Todd
General.
Blanche. I don't care. Thank you very much. Real sympathy to the victims that are they would rather not have their face. I understand if they don't want their names appearing. That's totally legit sympathy for that. But also in a half serious way, like, capitalize. There's a way. This is America. In the words of Childish Cambino, Donald Glover, stroke survivor, we love him and we hope that he will be present for the Community movie. I was going to go to one of his concerts and then he had a stroke, and that's really unfortunate, and I God bless him, and I hope that he recovers and doesn't have that happen again. I swear. That's just rough. This is America. They have the opportunity to capitalize on all this and go, like, here's my experience with Epstein. And it'll be bought by 6 news outlets, or, like, you can tell it on a podcast and make 3 million views or whatever. Listen, there's ways to capitalize. Ladies and gentlemen, there's also ways to soften your image, which Jeffrey Epstein was clearly aware of. This was a moment. Okay. I went ahead and I wanted to listen to the entirety of the Steve Bannon interview with you guys, although it is an hour 57 long. It is a long-ass interview of them going back and forth, and admittedly, out of the two of them, Jeffrey Epstein oddly comes across as the more put-together, civilized one. He's very calm, Jewy in all these questions. He's very relaxed, but he's also explanatory. He's got this incredible accent that you guys are going to fall in love with. When you hear his accent, you're going to be like, man, maybe he was a genteel Mr. Rogers-like figure, and he knows how to soften his image, because you know what he debuted? He debuted the glasses. Ladies and gentlemen, glasses are the ultimate image softening thing. If you need a PR stunt that is going to make you appear friendly, genteel, and old, it is a glasses, preferably ones that have like the weak, like nothing around the glasses. It just looks like they're being held by the little things that hold them to your ears, and they have a little piece in the middle, but it looks like floating glass, and they make you look like an old clockmaker. He looks Swedish in this, and he looks sweet-ish. You know what I mean? Like, let's. I'm going to play this for you. It's going to be linked in the description, but you're going to listen to his words and you're going to hear charm. You're going to understand why a lot of people were hearing this and they were thinking, yeah, maybe a private island, that's mojitos. That sounds like a great time.
What are you, class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
What's tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm the lowest. I'm the lowest.
You're the lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest.
The one who's saying tier 1, you're the lowest, is Steve Bannon, and then the one who's responding, obviously, is Jeffrey Epstein.
But a criminal.
Yes.
Is your money dirty money?
If you live.
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
So, in fact...
Why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it.
Earned it.
But you earned it... We went back to this before. You earned it. You earned it advising the worst people in the world, right, that do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
So, instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no question. Because I think ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money...
He was a philanthropist, which people don't understand, is that this guy, he really cared about people. He was a genteel figure. He was a Bruce Wayne, if you will. He had worldly aspirations to make the world a better place.
Should be given to these children for vaccines. I think you might want to ask their mothers. Who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people.
If we walked in, you're a mathematician. We walked into that clinic where they're giving that money out to these people that are in the most dire straits of poverty and sickness, and told them that the money was coming from class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Tier 1's the highest and worst?
No,
the lowest?
I'm the lowest.
You're the lowest. Okay, Tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
That the money came from them. What percentage of people do you estimate, I understand you don't like probabilities, do you estimate would say, I don't care, I want the money for my children?
I would say everyone said, I want the money for my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
I think if you told them,
the devil, 100%.
The devil
himself
said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Damn, that's a pretty good response, dude. He's iced. This is gonna be... Oh, man. They're gonna do, like, edits. So he's gonna be like, no, but I have a pretty good mirror. And then it's gonna play, like, I don't know, Playdate by fucking Melanie Martinez.
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question. Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody knows what? The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is...
No, he's cracking a smile. Do you see how he's like, no, the devil scares me, and then he smiles. He's like, ha ha ha.
Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is at the number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie. Yeah, he's very... Listen, he's suave. He's particular. He's not going to let you trap him with his words, even his own words. He's not going to be put in a corner. He's not going to let you define him, and that's the beauty of Jeffrey Epstein type figure. These billionaire philanthropists that listen. Money used to be an attribute. Do you remember like a degree of superstition and like, oh, what does he do for vacation? You know what I mean? Back in an earlier era of America, that was a kind of cool, mysterious era. It was a cool Gatsby-like money bought you this attention. It bought you this aura, this automatic feeling of... Nowadays, you look at someone with a lot of money, and you can't even be an actor. You can't be anything without people thinking that you're somewhat involved in a cabal of people who like do the worst shit, who like I'm sorry to say it, I don't know if people are on something, or if they are really going in far with these things, and they're just saying like, man, the files confirm that Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton during 2016, before the election, on electoral election night, they held down an infant and they slit it open and the blood drained over to Trump's side, and that's how we knew that the devil decreed the next one. And this is how presidential elections have been decided since the beginning of America. The two candidates, the two that actually have a chance, they've engaged in this ritual, and whichever side is pooled with the most blood is the person who is destined to win the election or whatever. And that's how the American elections have worked since the beginning. A lot of people just don't know that. It's nutty. It's crazy, but the Epstein files, apparently, according to people that are going in depth, you listen to Redditors, man, it's some of the nightmare shit you hear about in like the Green Inferno. Does anybody heard about that movie where like the tourists, they crash into a jungle or something, and then they're like put in a cage, and then it's a village of cannibals that are like half naked half the time, and then they like eat some of the members in front of them and whatnot. I remember there was one scene where they ripped out a guy's eye or something. I can't remember that movie very clearly. It's like a fever dream. But anyways,
what will the Epstein legacy be? Looking back over some of these files, well, let's play. I think what might be his most Mr. Rogers moment. This is a video in which it shows him chasing what is believed to be young girls due to the fact that they are just black, short little bars. You know what I mean? Like they're just sensor bars running around his kitchen. This appears to be him having a very Mr. Rogers moment, chasing young girls around his kitchenette. He's like up on the kitchen island, and he's like running to whichever direction they're like near the fridge, and he's clawing down at them or something, and then he jumps down. Oh shit, he's gonna get him. Oh, he's gonna get him. Jeez. This is just like, you could confuse this for like whole AFV. AFV could accidentally play this. They'd be like, look at this wholesome dad chasing his daughters around the kitchen. And it's like, and then it plays the intro music. This grandpa is getting a little handsy with his granddaughters. They're pretty fast, man. They're avoiding him. I will say that. They're like, oh, he's like yelling at him or something. Man, they exposed his bald spot, unfortunately. Look at that. Oof. I'll put this video in the description so you can find it. Very fun, you know. I will like to say that. Apparently, he liked to goof around. Apparently, he was not just potentially, allegedly, a vicious sexual predator, but he was also a goofball who loved to have fun. And I think we should remember people for who they were, not for who everybody tries to label them to be. You know what I mean? Call him a monster. Call him evil. Call him whatever you want. He was a human being at the end of the day, and we got to remember that too. He was just as human as any of us. None of us are holier than thou. That's a great lesson to remember at the end of the day, folks. I'm going to go through a few more. If I find anything juicy or fun, I'll put it in the description of the next episode, and we'll review it. We'll go through it ourselves. We'll have a good time with that, ladies and gentlemen. It's, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's also happening around the lawmakers from both sides of the aisles. Representatives Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, they're blasting the DOJ. They're saying they failed to meet the congressionally mandated deadline for the full unredacted release, and they argue that by withholding millions of pages and redacting key details, the government could be, quote, continuing the legacy of protection for the powerful, with victims advocates calling for the incomplete release, victims advocates calling the incomplete release a betrayal. And apparently, Attorney General, there's a ton of pressure on her, Pam Bondi, to hand over the full unredacted files to Congress. You know, I doubt that's going to happen. You know, forgive her, Pam Bondi. She's a sweetie. Oh wait, no, not that. I'm not. Caroline Leavitt. That's the one I'm thinking of. The one who wears the cross pendant when she's lying to everybody. She's one of my favorites that the administration has. Admittedly, she's a very, very fun one. You know, we're gonna cover it. We're gonna keep following it. But until then, we're gonna cover our second story because we got to lighten the mood a little bit here, and we got to talk about something a little lighter. So let's do it. Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, is reported as missing in Arizona. Shit. This is a deeply, deeply personal story to a lot of people that are at CBS Mornings. I think she's at CBS Mornings. Where is she from? Today. She's from the Today Show. Damn it. No disrespect to you, Savannah Guthrie. I mean, there's an urgent search that is currently unfolding, according to these recent articles. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of the co-anchor for the Today Show, Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing from her home in Catalina Foothills, just north of Tucson, Arizona. On Sunday, she was last seen at her residence around 9:30 p.m. on Saturday night. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos has classified her as a vulnerable adult due to her age and physical ailments, though noted that she does not suffer from any cognitive issues or memory loss. So she's aware, but as we all know, aware is not always aware for the people who are in their 80s or even the 70s. I've met some people who are still sharp in their 70s and 80s and whatnot. I'm not saying it's by age. I'm saying it's by person to person. I've met people who are tired at 40. So like that's what I really mean, is that there's a lot of people who are just spun out at different ages. And at 84, there are some people that are sharp, but admittedly, sometimes it's like night or day. It's kind of like they might not have any real issues, but if they're like visiting your house, they're gonna pull you aside and whatnot. Like when you're at the taco bar, and they're gonna go, "Whose house are we at again?" And you're gonna be like, "God damn, all right." And then you're going to remember like, oh shit, yeah, that just kind of happens, especially, you know, when you're running on like maybe 10 to 20 years left. It's unfortunate, it just happens. But okay, apparently it's already taken a somber turn. Local authorities have confirmed that the homicide detectives have joined the search and rescue teams. During a press conference, Sheriff Nanos, I think it's Nanos, not Nanyos, because there's no like thing above it. I don't believe it's a Spaniard name. He stated that the condition of the scene at the home raised great concerns for investigators. What if this is a Fargo situation? And this is, listen, this is a humorous show. We like to have fun here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And if you want to yell at me for it, do it, but it's not going to stop me. Savannah Guthrie may have done a William H. Macy and Fargo thing, and she may have paid to have her mother kidnapped. I'm saying, like, listen, it's a great ransom technique. You can make your wife disappear, but I don't know that is she married? Savannah Guthrie, a husband? Ooh, Michael Feldman. Oh, he's kind of a nobody. You can make him disappear, but like, no diss, no anger, whatever. Apparently, the massive search effort is continuing, involving drones, canine units. They're really tracking her down, man. They're going out. They got Federal Border Patrol assistance combining with the rugged terrain near the East Skyline Drive. Police are still treating the case as a missing person investigation until more evidence surfaces. Yeah, apparently Savannah Guthrie, she was absent from the Today Show anchor desk this morning. I mean, I'm just going to say it, no excuse not to come into work. I'm just kidding, Savannah. We only have positive wishes for you. We really hope you find your mom. Unless, of course, you know where she is. I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding. There's nothing, no joke. A statement was released through NBC. The Guthrie family thanked the public for their prayers and stressed that they needed their singular focus for the safe return of their, quote, dear Nancy. And authorities are asking anyone in the Tucson area with information or anyone who may have seen the 84-year-old woman with brown hair and blue eyes to contact 911 or the Pima County, the fuck am I saying? The Pima County. I don't want this woman to get found, apparently. My mind is just like, fuck up the words. Pima County Sheriff's Department immediately. Pima as in Pima. So there you go. If you have evidence, I don't know where you're listening from, but if you find her, if she's in your backyard, wandering around.
We begin this morning with a developing story. The mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie has been reported missing. Nancy Guthrie was last seen at her home just north of Tucson, Arizona. Jerika Duncan has more. The Pima County Sheriff's Department in Arizona is calling on the public for help with finding Nancy Guthrie.
Miss Guthrie is 80 years old. It's not of good physical health.
Not of good physical health.
She was last seen at her home on Saturday night around 9:30. On Sunday, a relative reported her missing under, quote, concerning circumstances. Officials are describing the case as a search and rescue mission, but they also say homicide detectives have visited Guthrie's home.
The scene at the house also has some concerns for us as well.
We have Nancy Guthrie right here to stand up for herself. Nancy Guthrie has made regular appearances on NBC's Today Show with her daughter Savannah, who has spoken at length about her mother's love for family and faith.
And I think that's the other thing I'd like to say about my mom. The greatest gift my mother gave me was faith and belief in God.
According to her family, Guthrie has no known cognitive illnesses such as dementia or Alzheimer's and is of good sound mind, though she does have some physical ailments. Officials are describing Nancy Guthrie as a vulnerable adult. For CBS Mornings, I'm Jerika Duncan.
Duncan.
Her in a statement this morning, Savannah Guthrie says, quote, I want to thank everyone for their thoughts, prayers, and messages of support. Our focus remains on the safe return of our dear mom.
Please, goodness, return her to them. That's unfortunate, deeply. I want to get a little bit of this police detective because honestly, I'm nervous that this is like the Three Stooges. Because the man, when I listened to the brief communique, he did not have the best. He did not have the best. What is the word for this? When people are communicating the facts of a case, they need to have resonance. They need to have a pace at which they speak. This man, I'm sorry, he felt like he didn't study for the test. That's the energy.
Breaking news, police are treating the disappearance of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie's mother as a crime. Investigators say the 84-year-old was last seen near her home on January 31st. Now the Pima County Sheriff says she has mobility issues, and some things at the scene indicate she did not leave on her own. Let's bring in ABC's Melissa Adon and ABC News contributor, former FBI agent Brad Garrett for more. Melissa, what's the latest on the investigation?
What's the latest?
So, Diane, what we just heard about Nancy Guthrie, she's 84 years old, and the investigators there at Pima County, Arizona, confirming that they do, in fact, have a crime scene. Now, that is critical and new information because what we had heard just yesterday was that investigators were concerned with what they found there in that home, and now they're calling...
I will say this about Miss Savannah. I have been a fan. I was a fan of when she interviewed Donald Trump for the 2020 elections when they did the town halls. If you don't remember, Biden got COVID, so they had to cancel the second debates, but they did have a dueling town halls as it was covered. And I watched Savannah Guthrie absolutely grill him, and she did good. She was very, very communicative. She was snappy. She was able to reflect back his lies and whatnot. She was really good at calling him on balls and strikes, all that kind of bullshit. She was very good at that. I must say this, the Mr. Beast smile has always creeped me out a teeny bit. The Mr. Beast smile, if you're not aware, is the effect of a normal smile on the mouth part. However, you'll notice that most of the images of Savannah Guthrie, her eyes have a notable absence of creasing in regards to, she's got crow's feet, as any people around her age start to get. You know, I think she's in her 40s or something, 40s, 50s, I don't know. You start to get crow's feet into your 30s, you know what I mean? Or if you're really, like, young, or if you weld, if you're a blue-collar worker, maybe your 20s. What I'm trying to say is... she has a notable lack of actual smile lines across her face. However, I can see there is a notable indent of an anger line that runs across her brow ridge, like around her nose, that just seems to indicate this sort of maybe a return to anger. She has this internal, like, you'll see that on the ridges of her brows, she has these up lines that kind of indicate that they're always turned down in a either focused or a frustrated manner. But her eyes are the most fascinating thing to me because they appear, and I don't know if this is because I have something against inherently with people with blue eyes, because I don't know, I'm a brown-eyed OG, I'm a brown-eyed original, call me a real one, but I'm just going to say it, blue-eyed people can sometimes freak me out, especially if it's the really gray-looking blue eyes, and those ones, they look like the Ice Walkers from the Game of Thrones, and that's what spooks me about her a little bit. I don't know. I'm not saying she had anything to do with potentially her mother disappearing, but all I'm going to say is she appears, she appears to have, the showbiz face, where it's Mr. Beast. It's like, I'm selling you a product. I am the news lady, which I don't have an issue with, and I think that's nice. She does have some liver lines, which I think that maybe she should talk to her doctor about. No judgment. I analyze every person's face like this. That's just kind of like how I look at it.
A crime scene. Please have a listen to the latest that we just heard from investigators.
As I said yesterday, we saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime.
Shit.
And we're asking the community's help.
Now, reporters in the room there were questioning officials saying, well, what exactly is that evidence? How do we know that it is, in fact, a crime? Well, investigators followed up saying that they don't want to compromise their investigation so far. But what they do know is what they found yesterday was so concerning that they have now put together some of this evidence that they're going through and looking through because they feel confident that essentially 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie could not have just walked out of that home alone. Now, we're being told that she has mobility issues, but that she's perfectly sound of mind. Now, another really key alerting thing that we learned was that the investigators shared that if Nancy does not get medicated, this could be fatal.
Diane.
And Brad, the sheriff talked about using technology to aid in this search. What goes into an investigation like this?
So the big key is if she didn't leave the house voluntarily, which is what the sheriff is certainly suggesting, that means somebody forcibly took her out of the house because of physical, not mental, but physical impairments. They would have had to help her to force her into a car or into some other device that could take.
You mean to tell me in wherever Arizona, nobody's got a doorbell cam that can maybe just see somebody throwing this bitch in a van? I mean, we live in a surveillance state as is. You can't walk down your DoorDasher is on 50 cams before he's brought you your fucking McDonald's. It's just a fact of living life these days. I don't know what suburb this bitch was living in, but her residence, East Skyline Drive and North Campbell Avenue. Let me look at this place. East Skyline Drive and North Campbell Avenue. Let's take a look at this intersection and tell me that there's got to be something. There's a Charles Schwab across the fucking way, right there. This is a really loaded zone. This is not some this is not it's a suburb. Yeah, it's a suburb, but I've lived in suburbs and whatnot. I've lived around where there's a CVS down the road or whatever. There's a CVS right across the road. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a Skyline Dental. There's a Fidelity Investments. There's a Vivance restaurants. There's a Francesca's. There is so much opportunity to collect footage from this area. They've got someone putting this girl in a van. And all I'm saying is that Chris Benoit, no one saw Chris Benoit coming. And I'm not saying that Savannah Guthrie has had major trauma to her head. Maybe one of her family members has, or maybe somebody connected to her mom has. But if they start making indictments and they pull somebody that's close to her into custody, I wouldn't be surprised. Majority of the time when someone goes missing and it appears to be some sort of thing like this, it's more often than not someone they know personally. It's just a fact.
Take her wherever. So you obviously want to use drones, but you also want to pull down any cell phone that was on at the time that you believe she disappeared.
Near the area.
At the house. Because the key here, obviously, Diane, is immediacy. What things can you immediately do? You can do what I just talked about. You also need to immediately interview the staff that works in the house. Who was the last person who saw her? Did she get telephone calls right before supposedly she disappeared? All of those things you need to know. I'm sure they already do know.
They do.
And going one step outside of that, then what's the motive? Is this driven because it's personal some way? Is it driven because she can get the money or something that's, valuable? I don't know. But that also is important because you just don't show up at somebody's house, to an 84-year-old's house, and then force them to leave with you without, obviously, some motive.
That's exactly what's missing in this case, and that's exactly what's making me want to crack it. And I'm sorry if it's coming across as conspiratorial. Savannah Guthrie, I'm not trying to accuse you of kidnapping your mother. What I'm trying to say is that the circumstances around this, I have no, it is more likely that this is a family member having some vendetta against her, or some friend of the family, than it is some right-wing person who was like, I fucking hate Savannah Guthrie, I hate her, and you know how I'm gonna get back at her? I'm gonna kidnap her mother and take her to Utah or some shit. That's what I'm thinking. Is it more likely that someone would be mad at Savannah Guthrie and kidnap her mother? Or is it more likely that someone in the Guthrie family, not gonna say who it may or may not be, I have no idea, I have no evidence, that more likely that they would have some level of involvement in making this woman disappear to maybe collect the benefits of it? I don't know. I don't know how people think, and all I can do is assume. But I have no reason. I have no reason to be pointing fingers, and as a result, I have no evidence. I'm not going to make any accusations I can't substantiate. And that's the beauty of this show, is that we just get to have fun. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of fun, we're going to get into the rapid fire section of today's headlines. A lot of shit you got to cover in order to keep your media diet healthy. We're going to review it all right now as quick as we possibly can. There's a partial U.S. government shutdown that's coming, an immigration funding standoff that's happening. A partial United States federal government shutdown has entered its second day after Congress failed to pass the all-appropriation bills before February 1st. Funding for many agencies lapsed, and Republican leadership is scrambling to secure enough votes in the House on a stopgap funding package after the Senate split off a DHS funding. I'm really worried about how I don't know that we're going to get.
Listen, I don't know that we're going to be in this shutdown nearly as long as last time. I think we're going to finalize something maybe by the end of the week. That's my assumption. It's an impasse that's largely driven by the debate around what we should do with ICE, the immigration enforcement policy, if we need to reform ICE in some way. I don't know that they're going to push forward anything that's going to make them meaningfully shut down their operations. But whatever. There's going to be more anti-ICE protests. There's going to be more shit. We don't have any more news out of Minneapolis today. We're going to take a break from that for right now, but we'll be back on it before you know it. I'm guessing someone's going to get shot before you know it. But we'll talk about it when something explodes. Democrats are pushing for significant reforms, including judicial warrants and accountability measures for ICE as a condition for resuming funding, while protests and nationwide opposition have intensified. The Trump administration has expanded immigration raids and ICE tactics, especially after the fatal shootings that we've been covering. Israel-Gaza Rafah border crossings have reopened in the major Middle East development. The Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Egypt opened for the first time in nearly 2 years as a part of the U.S.-brokered ceasefire, which is... It's a good movement. It's extremely limited, though, with only a small number of Palestinians allowed to cross daily, but it's a step that's, it's symbolically significant for a lot of humanitarian access, diplomatic efforts, whatever the fuck. The Israel-Hamas conflict will outlive us all, I promise you it. I will be covering it till the day that I die, and then I will be covering it from beyond the grave. The global Olympic ceasefire has been called amid multiple conflicts as the 2026 Winter Olympics are kicking off in Milan and Cortina. The United Nations are called for a 52-day global ceasefire involving ancient Olympic tradition to pause wars in Gaza, Sudan, Ukraine, and elsewhere. Despite the broad international resolutions, combat is still continuing because obviously the rest of the world doesn't give a fuck about your sports. So, what do you expect? It's a unifying experience for a bunch of whiteys who can watch it on their televisions, but for all the people who are over in Mogukistan who cannot tune into it on a coconut, they don't give a fuck. Pakistan's Boy Scouts in India are matching up over political tensions. Pakistan's government announced a boycott of its India fixture in the T20 World Cup, citing political and security tensions. It's drawing mixed reactions domestically and internationally. Some view the boycott as a political statement that's making pretty good headwind for their cause. Critics are arguing that it's undermining the sports diplomacy. I don't care. I really don't care. The geopolitical crisis is happening in Europe as they, quote, end a world of order. European leaders, including Mario Draghi, warned that the post-Cold War world order is collapsing, urging deeper EU integration in defense and foreign policy. The debate is intensifying over Europe's role relative to the United States and China. They're thinking, are we going to become a superpower? Are we going to cling on to either the West or the East? Or are we going to become a major middle column of a blending of sorts of the far West and East? Whatever they turn out to be, they will all be named Mohammed by 2050. Trump and Modi are calling a signaling. U.S. and India diplomatic engagements are continuing. Donald Trump held a high-profile conversation with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi today, signaling a sustained engagement between Washington and New Delhi. Good for them. We need more good shit happening with them. Norway has launched a major aid policy review. That country's always up to some fun stuff because they got all that oil money. A long-standing European development aid leader has launched a comprehensive review of all of its total foreign aid policy, marking a potential shift in international assistance strategies. I mean, they're looking at the United States and thinking, why don't we pull back our shit too? There's talk about the Kennedy Center being closed for 2 years in order to maybe be redone. Maybe they'll make it look better. Mayor Mamdani confirmed 16 deaths during the dangerously cold weather in New York City. Real sad, unfortunate, but, he kept a smile on for the entire press conference, even when he was reading about the deaths. I'm just kidding. Obviously, he's a Mr. Potato Head. He's giggly, he's fun, but he's not great in serious situations. It's not the most comforting thing. Oh! I'll leave this in the description. The Michael official trailer dropped. If you're curious about it, go ahead and watch it with me. It's great. It's Michael Jackson. Yeah, I don't think they're going to talk about the pedophilia. he's sitting in a studio. There's women screaming. He's about to go on stage. He's dancing. You're beautiful. Greatest of all time. Oh!
Let me tell you something. In this life, you're either a winner or you're a loser.
Yeah, I love Joe Jackson.
Still male like me for the rest of your days?
No, sir. No, sir.
Y'all willing to fight for it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I need to hear you a little louder. Y'all willing to fight for it? Yes, sir.
Good dad.
Ready whenever you are, Michael.
But
You know what I'm after? You want to be three-storing with?
looking back at rock stars from the past, you really remember, man, we all human beings are pretty silly. The things that we all get obsessed over. The Beatles, you look back and man, they're just groovy, they're jivey, but you look at them from modern standards and they're goofy as all get out. They're just four guys jiving up there with goofy hair. And for some reason, our culture just got obsessed with it. And then this guy shows up with a bunch of locks all over his jacket. And then he's like, I said you want to be starting something. And then everybody just fucking creams their jeans. And I love it. I see it happening nowadays with modern culture. People obsessed with Benson Boone doing backflips. It's a very Utah trick. I love it. Humans are my favorite animal, and whatever we choose to get obsessed with, it's very hamster-like, and I really like it. You can see it generation by generation, and Michael Jackson's one of my favorite examples of just like, wow, people from the past got into weird shit, and so do we.
We need to capitalize on Michael's success because the Jackson family is the brand.
Jackson family is the brand.
And we need to start selling. So I'm planning an international tour. This is just the beginning.
Hell yeah.
I need to think.
I told you what to think.
He's a good dad, man. He just wants what's best for his son. And I don't think people realize that about Joe.
I just want to do my own thing.
I just want to do my own thing.
Just have all these ideas. Just gotta get them out.
Get them out.
Then do it, Michael.
Oh, his light-skinned friend. I forgot they were going to show him with his monkey. You have a very special life to live. You're gonna die of eating sleeping pills. Yep. And then, didn't his doctor get convicted? Yeah. Man, people really, they were into it, man. They love those singular glove. I found out recently that was to cover up the fact that his skin was going light. Magic. He was Bruno Mars before Bruno Mars, which is beautiful. He's just got that kind of light, airy. He's mixed just enough, but he acts a little white, so it makes all the white people's parents feel comfy letting them listen to me. It's a little jivey. It's kind of like the King. I was a little bit like Elvis in my time. I was the generational person. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait. I'll probably see it. I mean, apparently, if this movie gets off enough, apparently they're going to put out the second movie where they're going to cover all of his career fallout. Apparently, the second half was going to focus on the sexual abuse allegations. That would be a better movie in my opinion, but whatever. We'll watch it when it comes out. We have a final story that's going to happen. Let's just get into it. It's a doozy. You're going to love it. Ooh, the FBI is investigating a possible biological lab operating inside a home in Las Vegas. What? I assume that most Las Vegas homes were like this. I know that Breaking Bad wasn't in the state of Las Vegas, but I just assume that most trailer parks in the state of Las Vegas looked like meth cookouts. And it's chill. I was gonna go to Las Vegas, and then what's his name? The one CrowdStrike had the issue where they had a glitch, and then all the flights got grounded, and then my family ended up, we ended up just like chilling in Minneapolis for that night, and it was whatever. We had a great time still, you know what I mean, but we didn't go to Las Vegas. But apparently I'm happy we didn't, because there's biological labs happening in the Nevada desert, folks, in a quiet residential neighborhood in northeast Las Vegas. It has been transformed into a federal crime scene now, following the discovery of a suspected illegal biological lab, quote unquote, operating outside of a local home. On Saturday morning, Las Vegas Metro SWAT and FBI agents executed a search warrant on Sugar Springs Drive.
Lovely name. They found refrigerators packed with vials of unknown liquids and biological materials. The discovery was so significant that it triggered a massive multi-agency response, including the Nevada National Guard's Specialized Weapons of Mass Destruction team and the FBI experts flown from Virginia in order to check out the scene. I hear biological lab, it sounds like something out of a thriller or something out of COVID-19, but investigators, they're quickly connecting the dots to a larger ongoing fraud case, apparently. Property records link the home to the same Chinese nationals involved in the famous illegal Reedley lab discovered in California in 2023. Federal court records suggest that this Nevada and Vegas operation may be part of a scheme to manufacture and distribute misbranded medical test kits, including fake COVID-19 tests without federal FDA approval. Local authorities have confirmed that at least one person is in custody though their identity has not been officially released yet. There's a high-stakes scene that's unfolding there. We'll give you a link to it in the description where you can go watch it. It saw investigators in full-body hazmat suits and rubber boots coordinating off the street. Sheriff Kevin McHill, whatever, assured the public that there is no immediate threat to the community. Officials have described the lab as an isolated incident and noted that the materials were concerning, but they were being handled with extreme caution and were being shipped to an FBI lab for definitive testing. For now, the focus is remaining on a slow, methodical processing and identifying of what exactly is in those vials. It could be super AIDS, whether this was a residential lab that posed a hidden health risk to the surrounding neighborhood, that has yet to be known. But we're gonna listen to this clip, and you'll be excused for the day, because goddamn, you don't need anything more to worry about. You're gonna be looking at your old neighbors, and you're gonna be like, didn't my one neighbor used to be a nurse? Oh, wasn't Nancy? Didn't she work at CVS? Could she be drug mixing in there?
The FBI is investigating a possible biological laboratory allegedly operating inside a home in Las Vegas. Multiple law enforcement agencies executed a search warrant on Saturday morning. Investigators say they discovered refrigerators with vials containing unknown liquids. Here's ABC's Melissa Dunn.
Lovely.
Tonight, the FBI and Las Vegas police investigating a possible biological lab found inside a Nevada home. Authorities executing a search warrant Saturday morning.
This is an isolated incident, and there is no threat to the public as we stand here today.
Authorities releasing this video showing officers in hazmat suits searching the property. They say finding vials containing unknown liquids.
Our teams
It's super COVID.
and found evidence of possible biological material.
Authorities calling it a complex investigation that could take days.
This has to be a slow and methodical process by design. We have to take these situations very seriously, and we take all necessary...
Why is every camera in the state of Nevada, for some reason, still stuck in the 1970s? This looks like it's being shot on grain footage.
...precautions to keep our personnel and community safe.
Law enforcement say they took a suspect into custody.
Lindsay, this is an unusual case. The FBI says it is sending several specialized teams to help in the investigation. Lindsay?
Melissa, thank you.
Melissa, thank you. We really appreciate it. Fuck, guys. Keep an eye on your neighbors. They might be doing some shit. They might be making bioweapons, and you don't even know it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the world we live in. But not to make you nervous. Not to make you nervous. That's not what this show is for. This show is to have a good time, to talk about the news, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm happy you joined me for yet another edition of doing just that. We'll be back at it again for the rest of this week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Your Brain on Air, Monday through Friday. That's what we do. Subscribe if you want more, and like if you liked it. Hit the bell if you want the notifications, because we upload every single day of the week, that is. We don't upload on the weekends, because we take Sabbath and Shabbat, We love our Christian and Jewish neighbors, so that's what we do here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this edition. We'll be back at it again tomorrow, but until then, this has been Ollie Vogt Larson with your Brain on Air. Thank you so much for listening, and bye-bye.